Mic check 1 2. It's the Y2K collector here, and I'm back just pulling out my PSP collection because I do have to input these games into the Game Eye app, and so I'm just kind of going through them here. But as I'm going through these games, I did have a genuine question for the gaming community. Um, it's clear that retro collecting has not died. It's still very much alive and well. And it's also clear that there are tons of people out there building their collections and making collection videos. But the question that I have for the community is, have we gotten to a point where we're pretty much just tired of seeing collection videos or collecting videos or hunting videos for that matter? Now, I personally love seeing a good game hunting video because it reminds me of the possibilities and what you can find out there in the wild if you just put in a little bit of time and a little bit of effort to see what it is you can find either at your local GameStop or at, through a yard sale or through pawn shops, things of that nature. But just looking over the past 4 years, I feel like we've gotten so much of that content that there's a section of the gaming community that's kind of just tired of it for a couple reasons. One, it'd be one thing if we all lived in the same city or in the same area, and we had access to some of the opportunities, but we all don't have access to some of the opportunities that others have, right? Like, not all GameStops are built the same. Not all pawn shops and yard sales are set up the same. And we just all don't have the opportunity. But it's still very fun to watch. It's still fun to watch someone else snag a really cool deal, and then maybe you get inspired to run out there and see, what games you can find. But for me, right, and I just did a video this morning talking about how I'm getting back into retro collecting. I have to figure out what my strategy is going to be because I don't have time or enough time in a week to drive around and source games. Now, I've seen a ton of videos, and I'm only going to reference one because I feel like of the videos that I've seen recently, they did it the best. But JRPG Life, they did a video where they spent an entire day driving around their entire, I guess, metro area in an attempt to hit like 22 GameStops. And in my opinion, if you're going to do it like that, right? Like, if you're going to make it fun, make a day of it, and make it more than just hunting for games, but you're doing it with a friend, you're doing it with a family member. I'm pretty sure they're a couple. I'm pretty sure they're married. If they're not, I'm sorry. I'm not sure, but I think they're married. And if it's something that you're going to do with your wife or with your kids, and you're going to make an entire day of it, and it's something that you do maybe once a year or twice a year, maybe once a quarter, that's cool. But I highly doubt the folks over at JRPG Life are able to function and pay their bills and do all the stuff that they need to do by driving around their area all day looking for games. It's not possible. And I'm sure they use a wide range of tactics to source their video games. But hunting, is it feasible? Is it a feasible method? And part of me says yes, part of me says no. And as I go through and get back into building out my retro collection, I really am going to have to employ a couple strategies. The first strategy is going to be hitting up GameStops that I'm already close to when I'm out doing other things. So to maximize my time, I'm really only going to be able to go to GameStop and hit up a GameStop if I'm already near one. And at that point, it's just kind of a luck of the draw, right? So if I happen to show up on a good day and they have things for me and I'm able to take advantage, then I guess it was my lucky day and I'm able to get some deals. If not, I may have to just wait until I'm back in the area. And that doesn't just go for GameStops, that goes for, pawn shops and anywhere else that I might try to source a game, right? So that's going to be one of the ways that I have to go about sourcing games. The other way that I'm going to have to go about it is I am going to have to leverage websites like Mercari and websites like eBay, but I just got to be smart about it, right? I have to avoid the buy now, and I'm pretty much just going to have to put offers on everything. I can never just go online and pay full price for anything. I'm going to have to be very strategic with my offers, and I'm going to have to be very strategic with the games that I go for. Now, you might say, well, dude, how can you be real strategic with Mercari and eBay? Well, there's ways you can do it. One of the first things that you can do, especially if it's a game you like, when you put into the search and search for that game, you want to see the listing that has been sitting the longest, right? You want to look for the listing that has been posted for the longest amount of time and see, you know, how fast that seller's other product moves. Now, most people, when they look for a game online or on eBay or Mercari, they're just doing it based on price. They're just going in there saying, all right, which is the cheapest, and they may just go and buy the cheapest. Me, I try to buy the cheapest complete in box clean game. So I'm not just going to buy it because it's the cheapest. I'm really looking for a certain standard when it comes to cleanliness and when it comes to completeness. And because of that, I tend to look for the best copies that have been sitting for the longest. And then when I find those copies, that's where I'll typically try to put it in offer for the game. Now, you have to be realistic, right? If someone has a clean copy, a very good copy, they know it, which is why it's usually priced higher than others. But if that copy or if that game has been sitting for a long time, then they probably know that their offers are few and far between. And if you catch them on the right day and they really need to sell, you may be able to get a good deal. Now, there are other games that I just know I'm probably not going to find in the wild. Like the odds of me finding these games, seeing these games in the wild are slim to none, especially when it comes to some of these rare Super Nintendo games that I have on my list. So what I plan on doing is I plan on reserving the Mercaris and the eBays for those games. And again, I still have to be strategic. I still have to plan it out and think about how I'm going to get it, because I'm not about to drive all day just to find a bunch of Nintendo, Wii, PS3, and Xbox 360 games. For me, it's just not worth my time. I'm not hating on anyone who does it, and I'm not hating on PS3. I just did a video the other day where I picked up 4 PS3 games, but that's because I was already in the area. There was a supermarket near where I was going, and I just happened to pop in, and I found the games and I picked them up, right? And mind you, I picked them up along with a somewhat rare PS2 game. So I'm not going to spin my wheels doing that just because for me, it's not the best use of time. But I will do it if I'm in the area. And for the games that are hard to find or hard to reach or just not local to me, that's where I'm going to have to be strategic with leveraging websites like Mercari, eBay, or even Goodwill Online, because they're a pretty good source too. But I'm interested to know what your thoughts are. What do you think are the best strategies for sourcing quality video games, retro games, right? When you don't have the time to drive around hunting all day. What is it that you all do out there? I'm interested to know. Please share the feedback, because, you know, during the pandemic, eBay was like, if you collected on eBay, it was like, oh, you're not a real collector. How dare you buy that game on eBay? You didn't find it in the wild. You're not legit. Well, guess what? We all don't have all the time in a week to drive around and find a game. So I'm interested to know what you guys think. And I'm not hating on anyone who does, because those folks are getting some of the best deals. But for those of us who just can't, we need another strategy, and I'm interested to know what y'all think. I'm the Y2K Collector. Hope you're having a good week. Take it easy.